So it's warming up a little bit today, but it's still really nice. The humidity isn't bad. There's still a breeze, so we're not doing this constant sweating thing. This has been a pretty nice summer so far. And of course, the spring was a little cold and wet and rainy, but it's turned out pretty nice. Makes it hard for me to do videos out in the sunlight because my selfie stick is one of these battery operated gyro things that keeps it all level. I can move all around and it keeps the camera pretty level. Now my GoPro does the same thing, but then when I change that setting so it will keep everything level, it will shrink the picture size. So I put it on the selfie stick. It's nice to use the GoPro though when I'm on the lawnmower, I'm doing something real bouncy, then everything stays nice and smooth. I like my setup. It does take a lot of energy so the things heat up in the sunlight, so I have to move pretty quickly and get back into the shade. Been working with the chickens today, hoping they're not going to. I got the nesting boxes opened up here. Frenchie likes to jump out when I get those open. As you know, we have 12 hens that are producing right now, and then we're going to have what, 5 Brahmas hopefully by this winter producing. Well, I have enough nesting boxes. I've got 4 nesting boxes for 2 chickens, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8 nesting boxes for 12 chickens. Well, of course they're not all in there at the same time, so there's plenty of room. I think you can have 4 chickens per nesting box when they're 2 feet long. So it's 1 foot wide, 1 foot tall, 2 feet long. The problem is they don't use all the nesting boxes. They all cram down here at the backside one, all of them. And sometimes you'll have 4 chickens sitting on top of each other and then Frenchies in there. And it's just frustrating. So a while back, I had this feeling they were eating their own eggs. And the reason I thought this was, well, first of all, I saw one of the Rhode Islands peck on it. And then we got another one that had a hole in it. It wasn't broke, but they pecked it and made a hole. So I was pretty sure that they were eating the eggs. So we increased their protein, we increased their calcium, and that seemed to have worked. They didn't seem interested in the eggs anymore. But occasionally now, we see an egg that's broken. I was kind of thinking that they were crushing the eggs. With them all being down here at the bottom, I was pretty sure they were being crushed. And there's just a difference in what you see. If they're eating the eggs, usually they eat the whole thing. Or if they don't eat the whole thing, you can see that they've meticulously pecked at it and just ate what they wanted. Well, this time it's crushed. They ate all the innards, but they didn't eat any of the shell. Well, yesterday they crushed one and they didn't eat any of it. So that tells me they're not even interested in the eggs. So now I know what's happening is they're crushing the eggs. It looked crushed. It did not look pecked. I just love these little Brahmas. They are so cute with their fuzzy feet. I don't know if you can see them. They are just so adorable. It's a shame they're going to be, not these, but their offspring is going to be meat birds, because they're really cute. I'm looking forward to them growing up. So I had to figure out a solution. Well, the other day I got pretty frustrated. I mean, I was just downright mad because they kept breaking eggs. Now, before I get into that, how I'm going to fix it, I want to explain why it's so important that we don't lose a lot of eggs. One thing is we got it all calculated out where there's enough eggs for us to eat every day, twice a day. And we've been keeping up with the egg production. That way we don't ever run out, and we don't have to water glass them and store them. I really don't want to store them. So some days I'm like, man, eggs again, but it's just the lifestyle we want to live. We want to live off grid and be self-sustaining, and the chickens have really helped us do that. The other aspect of it is chickens do cost. Since we're not producing their own food just yet, we are getting there. We do have to buy their food. So I don't know, I've never really calculated it out, but let's just say for argument's sake that an egg that I produce is 10 cents. Hypothetically, it could be a lot less, I don't know. Well, if I lose an egg, that's 10 cents, but if I lose 1 egg a day for 30 days, now we're up to $3. So that's getting up there to the price of a dozen eggs at the store. So the argument now is it even worth to raise chickens? Oh, people could say, oh, they're healthier and all that, but there's a cost involved, and I would like to reduce our cost living off grid also. I mean, it's kind of the point, kind of. There's lots of points to it, but one of the points is I'd like for it to be cheaper. I don't pay electric bill anymore. Electric bill used to be $80. Well, so when I had to run the generator through the winter, I got to be careful that I don't go over that $80 on gasoline cost. Otherwise, what's the point? Now, I can take in a yearly cost and say, well, during the summer, I don't run the generator at all. Well, so Carolyn said, hey, I got I don't know what she did, but she says, I got an idea. And so what she said was, and she wanted to buy a box that you can buy off Amazon, but what it is where the chickens lay is on an angle, like so. And so when they lay the eggs, it rolls downhill. So I got to thinking about this. I didn't want to spend, it was pretty expensive. I forget what the box was, but I didn't want to spend it and then have to remodify the chicken coop because the boxes wouldn't have fit in here. So I'm going to show you this up there so you'll understand what I've done. But I want to show you what I've done in here. Maybe you can see it. So I've put in a platform here that's on an angle. It's just two boards put together with this indoor-outdoor cloth, rug, carpet, and then I made some railings out of PVC. This is on an angle. You probably can't see it. But now I have an egg. They'll lay their egg here. And now it'll go to the other side. The chickens will not go underneath that. They're not going to worry about that. So if they're not crushing the eggs, it's still possible they could crush the eggs. But I don't think Frenchie could get on top of them now because it's pretty high up. The eggs come down into here, and there's your egg. They can't reach the egg now. Of course, this is all closed up. This will be behind the wood here. But they don't pass through this. We've had this experiment before. I've got these right here. They don't go through them. So they stay out. I don't know. I don't guess they're scared what's on the other side. So all the eggs will land in here. I can just pick them out right here. I only did one side to see if they'll work. Again, it just rolls down into the cedar chips. That kind of keeps it protected from breaking. Now I'm going to show you what I did. So you could build one. I mean, it just wasn't that hard, but I just had to put, just put it on an angle. Let's get this closed up. Now, the only problem I have now is the chickens don't like change to their nesting boxes. They'll stop using it for a while, and this egg here, they laid out right in the middle of the coop. I don't know why, but anytime there's a change to the nesting box, they'll lay it outside in the chicken run for a few days, and then eventually they'll come back to it once they realize, I guess, the change isn't going to hurt them or whatever. You can buy that carpet off Amazon. I think you could buy it from the hardware store, probably cheaper than what we got this for. But the gas prices, us driving all around looking for it, we bought it off Amazon. So just a little roll of it. But I don't know if it's cheaper at the hardware store. I really don't. I think we got that for $30. Again, it seemed really high to me. What I did was I had a scrap piece of 1x6 here that I used on the porch. I had a leftover piece. And so essentially I don't have two pieces cut. I wanted to make sure the first box works before I do a second box. So I cut two pieces and I laid them side by side. Of course, the one piece needed to be cut down about 1.5 inches. So I just ripped it down. And then I didn't do anything except wrap the carpet around it real tight and secured it down with a finishing nail. Bent it over so of course they can't get poked by it. And then in order to put an angle under it, just put something underneath here, and now it's under an angle. And it was completely free. I didn't have to, well, other than the carpet, I didn't have to do anything. I didn't even have to use the carpet. Carolyn wanted to use the carpet because she thought it'd be softer on the chickens. We could have used anything, I guess, or just put it on the board. Now the thing about the carpet, when I first put it in there, the eggs didn't roll down. The carpet held the egg in place. What I didn't know is the carpet is directional. and I'll try to explain this. When you rub your hand this way, the fibers, maybe it's this, we'll have to, anyway, if you rub it one way, the fibers lay down. And so when they lay down, you want the egg to roll that direction. So they roll down, but if you, yeah, that's right. So, but if you do it the other way, the fibers stand straight up. Well, the eggs won't roll that way. So when I put it in there, I had the fibers up and the egg rolling against it. And the egg didn't want to roll. So I just turned the board around so it was down, the fibers are laying down into a downhill side. Rolled right down. Well, you saw it. It rolls perfectly. I was pretty disappointed because the only other way to fix it was to raise the angle of the boards even higher, at which point the chickens would not have been able to fit into the nesting box. It didn't take me long to figure out it was a fiber thing. So I wanted to throw that out just in case you decide to do this. You know that fibers had to go on the downhill side. So now, hopefully we won't lose any more eggs. I don't know, it was a real frustration to me that we were losing so many eggs. You know, we're supposed to be getting anywhere from 6 to 10 eggs a day. And one day we got 4. So we lost what, at least 2 eggs, maybe 6 eggs. That's a massive amount of loss. And when you start adding in, let's say it was at 10 cents, you start adding that 10 cents up, that's 60 cents in one day that we lost, plus the meals that we lost. The other thing I wanted to point out is we want to collect eggs again to incubate here pretty soon. Well, if the chickens aren't producing any eggs, we can't incubate and eat. So if you'll click that super thanks button down there, I'd really appreciate it. So if I can inspire you to think things out so you can live cheaply when you're living your dream. Thanks for watching.